Alright, so welcome everyone. This time we have a new series in this video, and the title is Basic and Not So Basic Go Techniques, First Chapter, Reduction. Now you might think that starting with a difficult topic like reduction or finding reducing move is a little bit weird choice here, because I should start with some more basic techniques, but this video will be more like a promotion video, more like I'm looking for that you guys are interested in this kind of series, which is more like a lecture than a review or a pro review or anything like that, like I did before. I just give it a little test run if you enjoy it and if it's useful, and if it is, then I will continue it and I will start with such more basic techniques first, like ladders, geta, loose ladder, basic semi-eyes, basic tesugis, and so on. Now I'm pretty sure that many of you already encountered the big question in the Go and in the Go games, that what should I do here? Should I invade or should I reduce? Reducing is enough, invading is too dangerous, and so on. Now the thing is that the aiming of a reducing move or reduction is pretty much the same as an invasion, which is trying to prevent the opponent to making his or her own territory bigger and bigger. The main difference, in my opinion, is coming from the details. Reducing is a much bigger scale of strategy where you need to consider many things. You need a clear positional judgment, you need a good overall vision about the board, you need to see the weakness in the board, you need to see the weakness in the opponent's shapes, you need to see the weakness in your own shape to see how far you can go, how deep you can go, because there is a line too for reducing as well. So you need to consider many things before reducing. Of course, the same thing goes for the invasion, but usually an invasion is an all-out thing. I mean, it can go wrong much more faster than a reducing move. I mean, an invasion can be an all-out move by that it can lead to a bold fist fight, where many times hard to predict what will happen exactly, but with a reducing move or with a good reduction, it's much more easier to control the game, control the board. However, one thing you should never forget, even though reducing is not about starting a fight, but more like avoiding it, more like much more easier to control it, and many times it can help you to start a fight somewhere else. So still you should be prepared for any kind of fight after reduction. In this kind of tutorial video, we will try to mastering the reduction, how to decide whenever you need to reduce or invade, how to start a reduction, and you will see what type of reductions can happen in the game, because there are a few different types of reduction. And also you will see some easy but effective technique and way to do a good reduction. But even if you find that now that you need to reduce, even if you find a good place to reduce, it can happen that if you are not doing it right and your group become heavy, then the reduction is a fail. So what does it mean, that positional judgment? What does it mean exactly? It means that you need to check how is the territorial balance, how much solid points you and the opponent got, how is the territorial framework, the moyo on the board, who can aim for the bigger moyo, and so on. Few concepts to follow while you try to reduce here. That how can I expand my moyo, or how can I limiting the opponent moyo? Can I ask for some probing moves before reduction? Can I look for some defects in the opponent area before or during the reduction. These questions that you can ask yourself before reducing. And of course many more can happen in the game before reducing move or before a reduction, but we won't go too deep this time in this video. We will just see 3 examples how a reduction can go, what kind of moves you can consider as a reducing moves. And before we go through on those 3 examples, here you can see an actual game, kind of a homework, let's say. Here I won't show any idea, I won't show any move that you can consider the reduction move. Just check out the board, check out the position, try to ask those questions which I mentioned in the beginning of the videos, and try to find the correct reducing move. And to make the lecture and these videos and everything that I create here more interactive, try to, so after finding the move which you think is the correct move for reducing, send it to the comment below the video, so we can discuss after a few days that which move is the correct, or maybe we can discuss in the next video if you enjoy this video, and we can continue this kind of series. So now let's move on to the very first example, which you can see here now. And the first example is about territorial balance. And I do believe that the easiest way to teach how to reduce is that doing with an actual game position, because with positions like here you need to do positional judgment, as I mentioned earlier, quick count and so on. And here in the first example, our main goal will be looking for the territorial balance. As you can see, white has already many secure points, which is the marked triangles, more or less. It's a quick and rough count we do here, not that much accurate. It can happen that it won't end up like that, but at least we have some idea how much secure points we have. While at the same time black has some very nice thickness and territorial framework, or moyo, thickness like the marked stones with the squares. So many times it can happen that the game end up pretty one-sided, and by that I mean that one of the players is focusing on points while the other on thickness or moyo. This game is almost the same as white has many solid territory but almost zero thickness, while black has a lot of influence and not much secure points. So now the next question is, after we've realized how much secure points we have and how much black has and where is the black framework and how much we can let black take, how much black can we can let black convert the left side. Now the question is where we should reduce exactly. And as you can see with the letters, I gave some options here. It's really hard to say that which is the best, but for sure some are better than the other. Some can be a little bit too soft, some can be a little bit too deep, maybe some can be a little bit too vulgar, a little bit too straightforward, or I don't like this word, but Q-ish. But it always depends on the actual position and the actual game, so it's really hard to say that this move is bad, because it always depends on the actual game, on the actual board, and every game is different, so it can happen that if some variation is bad in this position, it can happen that those variations can be good in another position, those techniques. So let's see a few variation. Again, not going too deep, but just a few idea how to do reduce after we realize the secure points, we realize the framework. So now it's about the technique. So what happens if white play A? Now first thing first, it can happen that black just ignore it. And why is it bad? Or why is it good? It's good because right now, even if white take the the one stone, black has still some edge in the corner, so it's not 100% capture, let's say. But the thing is, even if white capture, black can send another move, so it's starting to feel like that, or maybe not that white move, but something like this, and all of a sudden the left side and the middle is starting to looking like secure points. It might not compete yet with the white points, but these moves are also aiming for the right side, and with the right side it can happen that it will become enough. Also, not to mention that black has still agi with the one stone at c15. So this is not threatening, and then this is not going, I mean the d40 move is not going well with our plan, which was reducing the left side, the left moyo. Even if black answer once, now black just secured too much points here, and also the white shape is a little bit heavy, or we can say it has some defect, like cutting points, like this point, many moves. So this is a bit too heavy way of invasion, and the same goes with B, and the B is even worse because still we didn't even put some pressure on C15 or that much pressure, and yet again black can just expand the left side and the center, so again it starts to become secure points. Now most probably the same goes with C. All the time we just miss the chance, and all the time it can happen that black sacrifice the one stone. So what about H? Now H is a bit better, but still if we let the black take these points, it's really difficult to reduce the left side now. And also this move H is not even aiming for any continuation. It is reducing black a little bit, but it has no continuation, which makes it only a one function move, which is usually not so good. And the same goes with G. However, it reduces a bit more, but still, still black can take this move and black is fine. So now most probably we need to reduce around D, E and F, and I would say maybe all these three are good in this position. Now let's see some continuation. For example, if white play F and we just go out very simply, and even if black connects here, black falls down to the third line, and the thing is, and the main goal is actually here, is to not just, well, reducing, of course. We successfully reduced with a good shape the left framework, the left territorial framework, left moyo. But at the very same time, and that's part of the reducing mostly, the marked stones, the black wall is pretty much useless, because even though that white is not completely safe yet, it's really difficult to attack white here, and if black has no target to attack yet, then this wall is useless and more like dummy points at this moment. And so mostly the same goes with D, for example, or with E. Here white can be a little bit, black can be a little bit more aggressive, for example with the cut, but then again white has some nice way to handle it, like this, pushing all the way, then making shape here, or just simply jump. Also this move is aiming for the cut later at G4. Yeah, black gained some secure points, but again his huge wall is not so effective right now. Maybe move around here, many moves we can continue. And the same goes with E, but E maybe is a little bit less aggressive because black can, like this, black can take more territory, and now I would say that black is not that dissatisfied with this result. But still, it can be an option in games. For example, in the second games, this move may be a good move. I mean the second example. Because let's check the second example here. And the second example is now not about the territorial balance, but more like minimalizing the opponent moyo or limiting the opponent moyo. Because here, we cannot count that much secure point for white as in the previous example. Of course, white has some in the lower right corner, but this time the main goal here is not looking for the territorial balance, but to aiming, limiting or minimalizing the back territorial framework, which is on the left side, as you can see. Whenever we're limiting a moyo, we need to keep in mind that the opponent will take some secure points while we are doing that. Like it happened in the previous example as well. So the thing is that this time this is not that much of a big problem, because again we have some secure points, not that much like in the actual game, because in this game we don't have just secure points, but with the lower right corner we can also aim for something maybe in the center if we are doing the reducing in a clever way. Also we have some kind of potential in the top side as well. And also we can use the right side black group gaining extra move in the center. So it's not that one-sided as in the previous example, where white had more like just secure points, but we have some potential as well. Again, I gave a few examples like A, B, C and D. All these four moves are possible reducing points, but here again we need to find what move black would like to play. And for example, if we play C and reducing with this technique, which is aiming for expanding our right side and the center a little bit, after black gained this jump, now it's really difficult to invade or reduce the upper left corner and upper left and the left side. Also, next move around d7 is extremely good for black. And the thing is that white need to play many plays to secure, for example, a center where he aimed for some territory with this kind of reduction as well. So missing e11 is kind of painful for white, and the same goes with this, and this is actually, for example, even more painful, because this is again a nice reduction here, and again we are a little bit building the center as well, but letting black take this one single move, this one single jump, is just too easy for black, and it's really easy to invade the upper left corner anymore. So it means most probably we need to play around the move where black would like to play. This is a good proverb to use in this game, and this proverb is working for the reductions as well. Now the main difference, now the question is, what's the difference between A and B here? Now if we play B as in the previous example, and if we play something like this again, now black secured too much territory and we need to answer all these push, otherwise if we tenuki, these kind of moves are really painful, and these kind of moves we cannot let happen. So we need to answer all these moves, but slowly this become again solid territory for black. And also black can tenuki here now, because yeah, this magari, the turn, is really nice feeling to play, but this time it has not much value. It's not aiming for too much here. And black is happy because he could take more or less the upper left corner. He could take G4, which is reducing our framework on the lower right corner. So this time the clamp is not the best way to reduce. However, just jumping here should be enough for white, because now if black answers locally, that's far from the, I mean, not that much secure point that black can aim here like in the previous example. And also we can let that one stone there now, and we can switch to another reducing move. So it means that now we could aim for the center, we could reduce the upper left corner. So this time white is successful, because this time the white stones are working much better than in the previous examples. And actually, if black played this, for example, we can even enter the left side, but with a much better position, like here, for example, like how we did before. Because we can enter the left side here as well, but it can happen that it ends up really bad. It ended up really badly for us. And so for the last example, because that's all for this now, this move was the key move. And for the last example here, it's expanding our own moyo. Expanding our own moyo, and it means that how to make our moyo bigger, because sometimes it can happen that we are in the other side of the board, and by that I mean that we have just thickness, we have more or less just territorial framework, not that much secure point. But that doesn't mean that we cannot reduce the opponent, and we cannot use the reducing move as building moves as well. And now, as we can see, we have a lot of thickness on the top side and on the left side. Well, the left side starting to become more or less secure points, but if we just play simple moves, that it can happen, it's not enough. So we need to looking for a more active move, which is threatening black a little bit, and also building our territorial framework, our moyo, and also limiting the black territorial framework on the right side a little bit somehow. So this time again we have a few options. Most probably all these three are okay now, but some again better than the other, because what happens if we play C? That's looking a nice move, because it's aiming for helping the market stones here a bit, and also aiming for some kind of invasion around R13, so on. But it can happen that black ignore that now, because the fact that the white is weak with the market stones doesn't mean that he needs to be worrying about that one stone, and it can happen that black might counter-attack it somehow, or black might counter-attack it somehow, and that means if we need to start to worry about those stones, then it's really difficult to expand our moyo during a fight like this, because this fight is more or less equal. Both white and black has two weak groups here, and as long as we have an equal fight, we cannot really use this thickness so effectively. So C is not the best choice here. Now it can happen if we play A again, black just plays C, but then again we have some continuation like this, for example, and now we can play again a cap, aiming something in the center. But even if we just play here, or maybe this move also aiming for some move in the center, I mean some point in the center, also aiming helping a bit N6, and we already gained a little bit from the reduction and the fact that black ignored our move. We already gained in the top side. Of course it can be easily reduced a bit in the end game, but that's not much of a big deal because of the damage mode. And if black answer once, again we expand a bit our moyo, and if now black start to some reducing move around here, we can still play a move like this and keep continue expanding our moyo. These two moves, that M16 and O16, just helping the M11 move. And also if black going a bit deeper, then maybe we can start some fight here, or still we can play this move and still it can happen that this will be enough for white. So, and what else? If white play B, then it might be a little bit too easy for black now, because again the same technique can happen like in the previous example. And maybe this is also possible, but I think the Aji here is a little bit worse than in the previous shape. So it makes a little bit easier for black to make moves like this, because some Aji around here can help black in the fight, this vital point. But it's really difficult to say that which move is the best here as for white, and sometimes maybe there is no such a thing as best reduction, but different kind of games. And this is really important to remember, that it can happen that sometimes we won't be able to find the best move, and it can happen that all the options are leading to different kind of games. So don't worry about that much if you feel like that I'm not sure which move I should play, but try to aiming what we discussed in this video, because that's all for this video now. These three examples I wanted to show, and try to use the discussed things in the very first example, as I said in this little homework, and try to find out the best reduction move in this position. And if you have it, or if you think you have it, send it as a comment and we will discuss it, and maybe we will make another video about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope it was useful, and if you are up for this series, this basic and not so basic technique series, tell me on my Facebook page or send a comment below the video, and hopefully we can create more videos like this together, because I would like to create it with you guys who's watching these videos. So that's all for now, and thank you for watching.